Welcome to Between the Covers. We're the show for the readers and writers and lovers of books. My name is Stephanie Larkin. I am a writer and publisher at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company for books of all types and genres. So whether you have a manuscript all ready to go, or maybe a book stuck in your head, or a drawer. I know all those manuscripts stuck in a drawer for 10 years. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and unleash your inner author. Well, I am so thrilled that I am joined tonight by three fabulous authors who unleashed. They no longer have a manuscript stuck in their drawer, so please welcome for me our three authors, Jane Vassell, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and Daniel Brahm. Nice to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you for unleashing your inner author. You did it. Well, for all those people out there who want to unleash, because they say 90% of the population wants to write a book. And that's like everybody. And only, what, 0.25% actually do it? Yeah. And you three did it. Any words of wisdom for our viewers about how to do it, how to get off the hump? Did it take you like 10 years like it took Gone with the Wind? What would you tell our viewers?
Just do it. Pick up a piece of paper and a pen and start writing.
I like it.
It doesn't have to be in any format, and then piece it together at a later point, just to get their thoughts down on paper, what they're interested in.
Right.
That's it.
Just keep going.
Keep going. I did it 48 years ago. I made up a story to my nieces and nephews while they were sleeping, trying to get them to sleep. And I took it home with me, and I kept it in a brown paper bag, because in those days they didn't make Ziplocs. And I had cancer a couple of years back. And I said, I'm not going to sit around and feel sorry for myself.
Right.
I took that paper bag out with all my little cropped up notes, and I put them together, and Martha and Me was born.
And there was a book. Okay, so you want to write a book out there? Just do it. Did you start the same way? Just start? Or do you have like a plan? Anybody here a planner?
Well, I don't think mine was a plan, but indirectly it was a plan, because my thing is, take 1 hour a day.
Okay.
And just write. 1 hour, whatever comes to mind, write it. You don't need to have a specific direction or title or author or, any of that. But just write 1 hour a day.
I'm going to do that after I 1 hour a day sleep.
Yes. that works too.
I should definitely do something for an hour a day.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Daniel, how about you? Any words of wisdom for our would-be authors out there?
Oh, I'm a big fan of the sleep method.
We should do some sleeping.
Yeah, but I'll even revise the 1 hour day for people getting started, or for people who are sick or are looking to bust right through it. I go down to even one sentence a day.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
There were times in my life where I was, I like doing marathon, and we have these plans, but the universe laughs when we plan. But sometimes when you're in that place, if you can give yourself the time to write one sentence and even protect just that small amount of space, I think it's often self-energizing. And
I bet you keep going after that one sentence.
Well, that's the secret, but that's the idea, right? Can't stop at just one sentence.
I like that it's not even, you have to write 5,000 words. It's just do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also free yourself from the oppression of, even there's a lot of wisdom out there, like that 5,000 words, like one of my heroes, Stephen King, in his book on writing, he's like, you are not a real writer unless you write 5,000 publishable words a day. I'm like, okay. I don't meet that thing, and that can...
and you're a real writer, I vouch for you.
Right, but like that kind of advice can be I understand the wisdom of that and other advice, but can also be oppressive sometimes, such as our own self-plans can also have their own weight. So try to get out from that.
But good recommendation on Stephen King's On Writing book, which is fabulous. Yeah. He also mentions that if you want to be a great writer, you have to read. And that's why I'd ask the three of you if you each bring something that you're reading recently. So let me see if I pick the right people. Is that yours?
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. Well, you asked me off stage. This is The Jaguar Hunter by Lucia Shepard. You asked me if this was a library book. I brought this for a number of reasons. One, because it's a book of short stories, and it's my absolute it has my absolute favorite short story, the one that made me want to be a reader, which
Ooh.
eventually made me want to be a writer. It's called The Jaguar Hunter. And this isn't the actual book from the East Meadow Library, but as a young teenager, I was just looking on the shelves, and I pulled this and another book out and took it home, and it did all those things for me that you want a story to do, and that what I wanted as a reader, and then as I grew up, I wanted to be a writer. So that's why I picked this book. This is an Arkham House edition, but you could still find either cheap other copies or probably reprints of it on Amazon or your favorite bookseller.
So that book is where it all began.
For me, right here.
I love that. Joanne, what did you bring for us?
Well, mine is called Your Body's Telling You.
Ooh.
Love Yourself.
Oh, I love that.
And this is actually my Bible that I use when working with clients in reference to many clients come to me as I am a personal trainer and also healer. Many of them come with many emotional luggage, we'll call it.
Right.
And I always like to know what the cause of whatever their pain is, metaphysically speaking.
Okay.
As opposed to what the doctors are actually saying. Because when we can get to the root cause to the metaphysical part of it, then we can connect it to the emotional part of it. And once we get to the emotional
so
part,
good.
then we start the healing process. And then we heal, as opposed to just treating the client.
And I see lots of pieces of paper and
Yes,
stuff
there's
in there.
notes. There was actually more, but I actually pulled them out because I was like, oh my God, it's got like, all different layers in it. But yeah, I open it every day. I actually refer to my clients to use the book as well.
Fantastic.
So it's not just about for me. I when I suggest to a client, what's in the book, I'm like, you should get it.
Right.
So this way
right.
here, you can look up whatever's going on in your life, whatever physical thing that's going on, you can look it up, see what it is, and not be so in a rush to the doctor, so to
Right,
speak.
right.
But check it out first. I mean, of course, if whatever's going on lingers on for more
Right.
than 7 days, then of course go to the doctor, get the diagnosis, and then go to the book.
Gotcha.
And then come to me.
Okay.
So we can work on
I
healing
like
it.
that. And Jean, what did you bring along with you?
I brought the shack.
Oh.
I found this exhilarating.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I had chills.
Oh, gosh.
It brought back a lot of memories for myself. I had a tragedy in my family.
Sorry.
Not the same, but it's a tragedy. A tragedy is a tragedy.
Absolutely.
And it's all about, for me, healing and forgiveness. And I think that's what this book really hits on a lot.
Oh.
And it shows you the other side in a way that you might not understand or believe, but it's something that really touches base on all your emotions. And I loved it. And I just saw the movie. And it's one book, I think, that really ties into the movie the same. It's not like you see, like, The Godfather, you read it, and like the movie's different from the book or something.
Right.
This is very close. And,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. William Paul Young, I understand himself, had some sort of biographical issue.
Oh, okay.
And started the story based on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, great
So it's a
recommendations.
great book.
Okay, so after you finish reading all of these fabulous books, if you happen to have books piling up in your house, and who of us don't, please consider donating them to the Book Fairies. The Book Fairies collect books here on Long Island, over 50,000 books every month, and distribute the books to schools. We have school districts right here on Long Island that the poor teachers are not able to give out books to students to read during summer vacations and such, and these Book Fairies open their doors one Saturday per month and allow teachers to simply drive up with a van and take as many books as they want for their classrooms. Books are also distributed overseas to 50 libraries across Africa and to adults here in America that don't have books. So if you have books that need a home, please consider the Book Fairies or come here on a Wednesday night and drop them off. My car is always filled with books that are going to the Book Fairies. And if you come here, you'll even get a glass of wine when you're watching the show. But we're going to take a short break for our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Thanks. Now, speaking of wine, would anyone like wine?
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat. unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
That's right, keep it going. That's right, keep it going. That's right, keep it going. That's right, keep it going.
Twilly dilly dee, twilly dilly dee, twilly dilly dee, twilly dilly dee, tweet, 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 tweet.
She talks to the people all night long, chatting and a gabbing and a singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Tony go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Tony,
Tweet, tweet,
talk, talking Tony.
tweet, twilly dee.
Oh, talking Tony really gonna talk tonight.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so delighted to have with us the author of Martha and Me, Jane Vassell. Now, if you think the cover of the book is beautiful, you have to see. Oh my gosh, I have never had a guest bring me a pillow. Look at this pillow. This is fabulous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What made you make pillows? Some people have bookmarks.
I know.
Some people have.
I like to
but
be different.
I love the difference.
I think it comes in handy.
I
Like
think it's
this one.
fabulous.
It's
Well,
such a
that's
great
good. You know,
armrest.
we have penguin pillows now. We
Right.
have, and look at this. You're all coordinated with the purple
I
bows
try.
and everything. You are fantastic.
Thank
so
you.
Tell us a little bit about Martha and Me. It's a beautiful
Okay.
book, and thank you so much for bringing it.
About 48 years ago, I was babysitting for nieces and nephews, 4 of them, separately. And I couldn't find books to read to them to go to bed. My sister's so organized, and my brother, that I couldn't find anything. So I said, let me
They're
make
too
a story
clean.
up. So I started making up this story. And they loved it. And I wanted to make a little spin on it. So what I did was I took my tongue, and I put it between my lip and my bottom teeth, and I spoke like that.
Ooh.
And they were very intrigued. And I wasn't trying to make fun of anyone.
Right.
But I wanted to make it cute for them, that they would like it, because I didn't know what to do. I was a kid myself. I was 14.
Right.
So I said, gee, So I started making the story up. They didn't want to go to sleep.
Wow.
So then I said, listen, you rascals, if you don't go to sleep, I'm not coming back. And I'm not going to read you any more of the story. So they said, okay, yeah, Janie, okay. So it started, and I said to myself, these rascals are going to ask me questions the next time. And they're going to say, I thought you said she lived in a red brick house, not a blue one. I don't know. So I wrote notes, and I kept them in a brown paper bag. And every time I went there and I babysat, I would write more notes. And I kept them all together. And a couple of years ago, I had cancer. And I was recuperating at home. And I said, I don't want to sit around and just eat and watch TV all day. I want to do something productive. And I thought of this, and I said, gee, my nieces and nephews now are all married. They have children of their own. I said, wouldn't it be nice if I made the book for them and gave it to them at Christmas time? And now they're reading it to their children.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
what a wonderful. I don't know what I am more blown away by. The fact that you created this when you were 14, because, most 14-year-olds when they're babysitting are just kind of sitting there. I was 14 and I would just sit there using the phone.
We didn't have
eating
them
their
back then.
snacks, that's what I would do. The fact that you were 14, or what a wonderful goal to do, and I thank God that you are well and you're here with us.
Thank God, that's right.
And recovered. So I guess the object of the story is, if you have a terrible disease, write a book.
Well, if you have nothing else to do,
Yeah, no,
just start writing. Just
I
write.
love that.
Doesn't matter. And you'd be amazed when you start writing how many words you actually write. if you count them. You could be up to 5,000, you don't even know it.
Absolutely. Were your niece and nephew so surprised?
They
when
were
you-
shocked and so excited.
Oh my gosh, you are definitely favored Aunt Janie, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Wow. Now, tell me a little bit about the illustrations, because there are beautiful pictures in
There's
this.
51 illustrations in the book, and there's 61 pages of text. So it looks like a very easy book to read in one night. You cannot do it.
No,
If you
there's
really
a
want to
lot
focus
of
on the
text.
story.
But the pictures, who did the pictures?
I had a woman who graduated from college and was working in a insurance company, and I hired her. And
And
I
she-
gave her a chance, and I told her what I wanted.
You told her very clearly
and
what
we
you
went
wanted.
back and forth a couple of times, but she got it.
She did.
Beautiful.
You know, they go right there with the story.
Yes.
You know, which is fabulous. So many times the artwork does not go. Look at this.
And there's pennies, if you notice, on the pages in between,
Yes.
on each side of the page numbers, and on the cover on the four ends. I had that there because my dad, when I was a kid, we used to find pennies, and he used to say to me, pick them up quick because pennies are from heaven. And an angel throws them down, and they're good, wishes for you, good blessings. So I remember that. I want to incorporate him and somehow my mother. So the little teddy bear on the cover has one eye missing.
Okay.
And when I was
that?
7 years old, my mother, on a very cold winter night, brought home a teddy bear for me in a bag, a brown bag, of course. And I opened up the brown bag, and I looked at it, I got all excited, and then my face just transformed, and I didn't want it, and I put it down on the bed, and I looked at my mother, and I said, Mama, he's broken. I don't want him. And she knelt down beside me, she cupped my face in her hands, and she said, everyone in this life is broken. Sometimes you see it on the outside, and sometimes you don't see it, it's on the inside. But everybody in this life is that way, and we need to respect and love everyone for any differences that they have. If their ears are missing, if their noses, whatever it is, you accept them with love and respect. And I always remember that, and that is in the story. So I
What
want to
a
bring back some values to
lifelong
children.
lesson. Oh my gosh, you are so fortunate to have
Yes.
had a lesson so important so early on.
And then just one really quick
Oh,
funny
please.
story in there is I was deathly afraid of thunder and lightning as a child. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do about this because I have to figure out a way to handle it. So one night it was really a bad storm, and I was crying hysterical and screaming, and my parents ran in the room. And my father goes, what's the matter? What's the matter? And I said, I'm so scared. Something's going to bite me or something. I didn't know what I was saying. So my father said, no, no, no. And he sat down. They were very calm. They said, listen, when we go bowling every couple of months and Daddy hits the pins and they make all that noise? Bah, 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 bah. I said, yes. He said, that's the thunder. I said, and he goes, then when I hit a strike, what happens? I said, the bells go off and the lights blink. He said, well, the angels get bored some nights and they want to go bowling too. So they're bowling in heaven. I said, you're kidding. He goes, you should be cheering the angels on. So all night I was cheering the angels. I couldn't go to sleep.
So your parents
So that's
are
in there,
creative
too.
as you are. Absolutely. I love the way you've incorporated the pennies and the one-eyed teddy bear.
That's her best friend, Nickel.
Sometimes, people want to, with their book, include their loved ones. And one would generally think the only place to do that was on the dedication page. But how nice, right there, not just on the cover, but like you said, every single page with the pennies.
Yes.
I love that. So this book started when you were 14.
Yes.
And it was completed a few years ago.
Yes. And I'll be 65 in January.
So
It's a long
it
time
took
ago.
50 years to write this book.
No, actually it didn't. It took about maybe 10 years, 12 years, and then I just put it in a drawer and I forgot about it. And then I picked it out when I had the cancer.
All those books in people's drawers. We need to
Yes.
get those books out of the drawers.
I love the
folks.
front cover. I love her.
It's
Thank you.
beautiful. It's absolutely.
You fall in love with her, you'll really like to.
Oh.
You
She
want her
looks
as a
like you.
friend. She does?
She does. She looks like you.
I don't know about that, but
I love her smile.
I think so.
I absolutely love her smile. Well, I know it took you a long time to write this one, but now we want a second one.
I'm working on something, not a children's book, but I'm working on
Really?
another one right now. Yes, I did a little something for a very special lady. She's an angel to me. Her name is Valentina Janik. And she asked me to write a short story for her book, From Fire to Freedom. And it's called He Has My Back. And it's about God. And I get emotional because I have been through, I shouldn't be here. I have more than enough lives for two cats. And I want to dedicate it to God, the next book, and tell all my things in my life. Because I really don't feel I should be here, and there's a reason. I'm still trying to figure it out. But that's the adventure for me.
Wow.
So I'm excited to see what's next.
And another book and a dedication. And does the new book have a title yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It could be similar to the story I wrote for this other book. But
Okay. Because you know what happens when our guest authors write another book? They have to come back to Between the Covers.
I'll be very happy to come.
Absolutely. I mean, you've been,
Yes.
you know, this is your second appearance
Yes, it has.
here, because that's what happens. If our authors are prolific, they're going to come back on the show.
I have too many books I want to write, and I just...
Really?
Yes. I have a love
so
story.
many books and so little time. A love story.
Yeah, a really
too.
good one.
Ooh, all right. Well, we'll have to see which one
We'll
makes
see.
it to the finish line
Yes.
first. Absolutely. Well, Martha and Me, where can our viewers get
You
Martha?
can get that at Archway Publishing, which is the division of Simon & Schuster, where I had it published, and also Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. And you can actually go into any bookstore and they can order it. They won't have it on their shelves, but you can order it by the ISBN number, which is on the back of the book.
Fantastic. And we have all of those links also at BetweenTheCoversTV.com. So get your copy of Martha and Me. We'll be right back after this break.
Thank you.
That was fabulous. I didn't even get to ask you if you
Are you interested in writing, but you're unsure how to get started? Or perhaps you're already an author, but want to hone your skills and receive supportive yet constructive feedback? Welcome to WebWritersRetreat.com. Developed to help once and future authors like you to gain from positive and supportive criticism of your submissions from other writers and our professional staff, push forward through personal timetables and writing exercise sessions. Sharpen your skills through group coaching and Q&A sessions with literary experts. Receive practical resources such as templates, downloads, links, online courses, and free ebooks. Benefit from book reviews and opportunities to join a beta team to enrich yourself as well as other authors. Save with special discounts for publishing services and online courses, social media, and email marketing, and a whole lot more. Visit WebWritersRetreat.com and turn your writing dreams into reality.
Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print book. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality.
The sun is getting warmer, but when we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border, but when we're floating up like helium.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Our next author, Joanne Angelberry Clone, wrote Creative Cash Flow. And during the commercial, we were talking, I have this exact plant on my windowsill, hoping for some creative cash flow to come flowing through my house. So welcome, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Creative Cash Flow, or tell us about it, and where do we get the plant?
Well, the plant, I don't know where you get. You could probably get the plant in any like flower shop.
Yes,
I would assume. And in reference to Creative Cash Flow, it's literally all my secrets.
Ooh,
Yes, literally
secrets.
all my secrets. Every full moon, I sit and I journal in reference to what it is I'm looking to manifest. And in reference to manifestation, most people want to create money. Now, what I also do in reference to how the title came about is I use creative ways to make money.
Oh, okay.
You know, in reference to, let's say, a Reiki treatment or a card reading, things that I, my hidden gift, so to speak.
Right, right.
And in order to create this money, I have to turn around and do journaling. I have to meditate. I have to set my intention. And setting the intention is really the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
You know, is in reference to what it is I want, and then explaining why I want it.
Right.
And how that is going to actually help not just myself, but help others. Because I could sit back and say, yeah, I want $5,000. But what do I want to do with the $5,000? And how is that $5,000 going to help the community? Because that's what it's all about. It's about receiving and giving.
Right.
So if I just received it, but I never gave it back, it's not going to continue to flow.
That makes perfect sense.
So it's all my secrets in that book. And with, and as you pointed out, the little check that's
Oh,
in
I
there.
love this page with the picture of the check.
Yes.
I saw this when I was reading over it, and there's the story of Jim Carrey writing himself a check for, I think it was about $10 million, and putting it in a drawer until the day he was able to cash it. So just this check method, you do this yourself, you said?
Yes, I did that myself. And how that came about is I decided one day I was going to play a trick. I wrote out the check and I put down a dollar amount. The dollar amount I think was like $6,000. And I said, I want to see if I can manifest this in 30 days. And I said, okay, so how am I going to manifest?
Right.
What's my intention? Why do I need $6,000? And how is the community going to benefit from it? And I was like, all right, so I put it out there. And the most important thing about it was there was no resistance. I didn't question it. I just wrote it. It was fun. It wasn't about, well, if I need to have it.
Right.
It was a matter of I'm just doing it for fun, and let's see what happens. And within a matter of 30 days of meditation and journaling and setting my intention, I started receiving unexpected phone calls of, oh, I want a card reading, and I need an extra Reiki session, and can you do this for me, and I need a workshop done, and da-da-da-da. And before I knew it, because, the money that I was bringing in, I would put it into the box that I had the check. So at the end of my 30 days, I was like, oh my God, I've manifested my $6,000
Wow.
within 30 days.
Unbelievable.
And I was like, this really works.
Yeah.
So I continued to do it. And not every month
Right.
did it achieve what I had written, but the idea was, my goal
If you
set.
don't ask, and if you don't
Exactly.
put it out there to the universe.
Exactly. There's a book called The Law of Attraction.
Yes.
And there's also another book called Ask and It's Given. And the power of the law of attraction and asking is very powerful. Because unless you actually do ask,
Right.
you don't get it. You got to ask.
Yeah, the law of attraction has been on my short list of things I want to read.
Yes, that's a very powerful
Absolutely.
book.
I've heard that.
And it is true because, again, as you're projecting out positive thinking, you're going to receive positive energy back. If you're projecting out negative thinking,
Right.
you're going to receive negative energy back.
That makes a lot of sense.
It plays a role in reference to, what it is we have and what it is we're creating.
Absolutely.
So,
Now,
yes.
I know you as a Reiki master, a personal trainer, a woman of many, many gifts. I was really kind of surprised, I must say, when you said, I just released a new book called Creative Cash Flow. I said, do you have the right phone number, Joanne? Because, last time I was with you, you were reading my cards. Where did this come from? Like, how did that manifest in your life? This just seems... I'm delighted.
How did it manifest? Again, I think it's just a matter of using, to start off with, I believe we all have creative ideas that we can actually make money from.
Okay.
You know, it really falls into the concept of living in your purpose. And I constantly counsel clients about stepping into your purpose versus having a 9-to-5 job. And many people sit back and say, well, my purpose isn't going to help me survive. And I truly believe that if God gave you a purpose, he gave you that purpose so you can live in prosperity.
Right.
He didn't give you that purpose to live in poverty. So with that being said, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use all my purpose to create cash flow.
Gotcha.
And I sat down and I just wrote just a title. It wasn't a matter of a book.
Right.
It was just, I wrote it down, creative cash flow. And that's just what it was. Like, all of this, all of my purpose is my creative cash flow. And then, all the different tools that I use, and I would offer them in my workshops, teach people how to, set the goals, meditate, journaling, intentions, law of attraction, the whole thing. And then, as usual, my mom comes to me, through communication, and she says, all right, your next book. I'm like, my next book? What book? And creative cash flow. I'm like, oh. I was like, but those are my secrets. And she goes, there's no such thing as secrets. You have to share them. You have to let it out. You have to share it with the world. She goes, you're sharing it anyway because you do workshops. You're teaching people how to do what's in your book.
Right.
So put it in the book. I was like, but it has nothing to do with fitness.
Right.
Has nothing to do with, well, I guess in a sort of way it does have something to do with healing.
Okay.
In a sort of kind of way.
I understand that, yes.
Because when we think about healing, it's the same concept. We meditate when we want to heal. We journal when we want to heal.
Right.
We set intentions when we want to heal. So it does have some connection to healing, but no connection at all to personal training.
Wow.
So,
But, you were told, and
Yes.
you were obedient, and you
yes,
did it.
I always listen to what my mom suggests. Whatever it is, she
Did you hear that, my
sends it
three
out.
kids out there? Listen to what your mother says.
However, I do have to make a notation on that, not to stab it out for your kids. When my mom
Feel
was,
free to tell my kids to listen to
when
me.
my
It's okay.
mom was in human form, I didn't listen to her as much as spirit form.
So my kids are going to call and say, I watched your show, Mom. I'll
And we're
listen
gonna-
to you down the
yeah,
road.
Exactly. But I have that great communication with her, and not just listening, but like when I am in a project, I actually have, like, she visits. Wow. I literally sit with her, and she'll sit across the table from me and sit and watch me do what I'm doing. So it's really
Wow.
powerful. So I'm inspired by her.
And she told you had to write down the secrets.
Yes.
But I could hear in your voice that your first reaction was,
They're my secrets.
no, they're my secrets.
They're my secrets.
No one is going to find out my secrets.
Yes.
Well, now everyone knows your
Yes.
secret.
Exactly. Look, everybody.
I'll share a really quick story with you in regards to my dad and a check. I had said to him I had given him an actual check. And I said to him, I said, write a number on this check and I'm going to sign it to universe. And he writes a number. He said, well, what am I doing with it? I said, well, now I want you to take this check and fold it and stick it in your wallet. And every time you take your wallet out, you're going to look at this check and you're going to say, I'm grateful to have received, and whatever the amount was. And I told him to keep the amount realistic, not like $6,000.
Good idea.
And after he wrote the check, every once in a while I would ask him, I said, so what's been going on? And he's, I'm doing this thing and I'm doing that thing and I'm having a garage sale and whatever. At the end of the month, I said to him, I said, what's going on with that check that's in your wallet? So he says, it's there. I said, so have you manifested anything? And he said, well, no, the check doesn't really do anything. And I said, but Dad, I thought you mentioned that you had a garage sale and you had an unexpected friend call you to ask you to take them to the city, and they paid you for it. I said, did you add all of that up? And he says, well, yeah. I said, and what did it come out to? And he added, and he's like, it came out to this amount. I says, and pull out that check again. So he pulls out the check, and I says, interesting enough, it adds up to the exact amount of your check. And you know what he says to me? It's just a coincidence.
No. There are no coincidences.
I was like, there was no coincidence. If you did not write that check out and every day pull the check out and say you were grateful to receive, the universe had no reason to give you those unexpected jobs.
I'm writing checks tonight.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
True story.
I
So,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to take a short commercial break. Grab a checkbook.
Yeah.
I think we have some work to do. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, taking a turn for the dark side here, author Daniel Braum is the author. His most recent book is Serpent Shadow, but I also have here The Wish Mechanics, Spirits Unwrapped, and a whole stack of scary-looking books over here. So thank you, Daniel, for joining us.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
And your newest book there, do you have a...
Yep, this is The Serpent Shadow. It's out right now as an ebook from Cemetery Dance Publications. So you can get it like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all
I love
the
our
places.
high-tech guests who come
Yeah.
with an iPad. Look at
Well,
this.
this is, I'm kind of maxed out. This is keeping it on screen is going to take out all my technology skills.
I have no doubt you have more technology skills than that. And that's just newly released.
Yeah, that came out just this summer. Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And now, this was your first collection. Is that correct?
It's my second collection. The first, I don't have a copy of the first one. The first one was called The Night Marchers,
Okay.
which was also from Cemetery Dance. But that's also a book of strange tales, sort of like the Twilight Zone kind of material, which is from a publisher out of Italy called Independent Legions Press.
Interesting. And I see you're also an editor and a contributor on many different books. You
Yes.
have been busy.
I've been a little busy. Yeah.
Tell us how you got your start in writing.
Well, my first break came maybe about a decade and a half ago, and kind of keeping in tune with what the other guests are saying tonight. Yeah, it's just if you don't ask, you're not going to receive. So a lot of in the writing business, you have to do a lot of submissions, a lot of cold or slush submissions, and I had sent out a story to a publication called Cemetery Dance Magazine, which it's a professional horror and suspense magazine. People names like Peter Straub and Stephen King are found in the pages. So, at the time I didn't think that I was up there with them, and I got pulled out of like a blind slush cube about 1,000 stories. So that's how I got connected to Cemetery Dance, which was a big help to me.
Right. Did you always read horror as a child?
I didn't. I did read some. I do credit my mom, who is here tonight, who brought me home from the supermarket a paperback copy of The Stand, was made by Stephen King. Was I think my first horror book. But
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
All right.
I almost brought that book as my show and tell.
He was
book.
5 years old and she brought home Stephen King.
My God.
No.
Yeah, hey, if it's in the supermarket.
Hey, whatever. That was his first book. He could barely read. He was reading Stephen King.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was a horror writer until my editors or other people. I thought I was I don't know, a fantasy or a science fiction, anything but a horror writer.
Really?
But I found I wasn't answering the call I had asked, and Cemetery Dance had been asking me for more work, and they'd asked me to. I didn't even know what a short story collection was. I wasn't thinking that way, and they had been asking me until I finally realized, wait a minute, maybe I need to just go with and not worry about so much about categories and boxes. I'm just going to write what I write, and be very grateful if someone wants to publish it or someone wants to read it, and we'll leave those names for someone else.
Wow, good for you. Good for you, just plowing ahead with it.
Thank you.
And do you like writing? You've written short stories, but also novel-length books.
Yeah, both have their joys to them. I mean, I do love the short story. I find it to be. I do love to read it. Read it because in today's age, our attention spans are down. It is a joy to have a small. That small commitment or that one story for your wait online or just before we pass out. But then also it was a joy to be able to do things and go places and sustain things with the larger form of the novel, which is what I did with The Serpent Shadow.
Right. Now I have to tell you, you are lovely and jovial and everything else, and yet you write scary stuff.
Well, they say the horror writers are the nicest bunch out there, and to my experience, I'm lucky that that's been true for me.
So this is not art imitates life, huh?
I hope not.
You have two parents who are sitting here in our audience.
Yeah.
It looks all good. I'm not picturing dead cats strung up in your house.
No, not at all. My cat, she better not be dead. No, but in art imitating life, I mean, I think the brand of horror that I write is mostly everyday people. It's very humanist. So the stories I do tell stories about people's encounters with darkness or the supernatural, but mostly that's because it's a catalyst to tell a different kind of story or a human story about the human experience. And I find that the supernatural is much more interesting and fun for me, but it allows me to tell these stories that way.
Now, do you frighten easily, or my husband will tell you that I get scared on kiddie rides. I'm really like little tiny haunted houses for 5-year-olds. I'm terrified. How about you? You're good, huh?
I'm good and I'm bad, right? Like you could hit some things might scare me, other things I'll be fine with.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I figured after reading the excerpts that I'd read that you were big, brave.
No, maybe just smart. I'll stay away. Like when the old Eddie Murphy skit where he says, and the ghost says, "Get out of the house." Sorry, honey, we can't live in the house. We're all.
Now I have to ask you, because I'm always so enamored with fiction writers. Do you outline your books in advance, or do you know what's going to happen, or do your fingers tell you what's going to happen? Do your characters shape their own destinies?
I think all of the above. I think. There's part of me that does really enjoy a well-laid plan, but then there's also part of me that enjoys having the flexibility to go off that, and often that's the old cliche, letting the characters talk to you. Yeah. But I think it's maybe in a craft point of view, it's letting not being wed to that in discovering the characters and trying to paint a more organic character or have some verisimilitude to break off that path if the story calls for it. I think there's great joy in doing it both ways.
Have you had an instance in either novel length or in a short story that something really surprised you? That you thought you were going over here, and all of a sudden you were like, "Whoa, you're dead already," or something? Anything like that?
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened to me. I can't think of one right now, but that does happen. And mostly it's not a surprise. Mostly maybe it's just sort of relief, because you just when you're writing it, you'd be like, "Oh, that didn't feel right," or "It felt wrong. It didn't feel right for the story." So when you realize, it was less of a surprise and more of like, oh, okay, I'll just take credit for writing that. I guess you did write it, but you're contacting. I think you talk about your purpose, and while you were saying that, I was saying that it feels like a good analogy for writing as well. I think when you write, maybe I wanted to be a science fiction writer, but maybe I'm a horror writer. And when you kind of get closer to those kind of stories, and like you said, you have a very personal aspect to it. Even though my stories are not autobiographical, when I can connect to at least the energy of things that are very personal, even if they're not autobiographical. I find that those are the stories that sell. They sell faster, and those are the stories that people will call out to me and be like, "Wow, that meant something to me." And most of the time, it's when I added those aspects to it.
Wow, I love that. What is your favorite thing about being an author now? Is it meeting fans who have been touched by a book? Is it the actual craft of writing? What is there any particular thing that stands out?
All those things stand out. That's really great. It's great to.
It's being on between the covers. That's
Right.
his absolute favorite thing about being an author is that he's here tonight. Of course.
Yeah, no, I think I was just talking about this with someone today. I mean, is that feeling when, maybe when you finish another story and you're like, okay, I'm still connected to it. I could do it, and just that feeling of knowing, like, okay, I've done this. It's complete, and I know I did what it has. Like that real feeling of completeness. Not just writing the end, but like the feeling of like, I touched it right here.
Done. I love that. Oh, what an image. That's fabulous. As a non-horror writer myself, I always thought that if I ever had to write something scary, I'd light some candles, dim the lights, cue the scary music, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you set any scenes for yourself, or can you actually do this at noon with the sun streaming in?
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not so sure how scary. I don't want people to be disappointed. I'm not so sure how.
Well, there is that extra.
Yeah, well, there's definitely supernatural, which can be
supernatural.
disturbing. I think maybe the more scary or disturbing things in my work is the human aspects to
Yes,
it. And,
well, that's true.
I can't.
But it's the humans dancing on the edge of
Yeah,
the
that
That's the
stuff
thing.
scares me so much more than anything supernatural.
Oh, absolutely.
for sure.
This is not, zombies and monsters. This is,
Yeah.
it's much more frightening because it's very often in a person's mind.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
that's definitely scary for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could write.
But when I read it, I had to keep the lights on.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah, there are a lot of things like that. I could write it. Yeah, I don't have any. I wish I had fancy rituals like that. I mean, I do. I could write at noon. Sometimes if I'm lucky, I'll get to go on a retreat or take myself to a place. I once took myself to New Orleans just for as a treat. Like, okay, I'm going to go here, and my agenda is going to be nothing but just writing or just scribbling on the back of napkins. And maybe that's more of like the romantic image of the
Oh, I
writer.
love
like,
that.
oh, we're in Paris. I'm a writer. I'm like, well, no, writers sit down at desks and they make great press packages like Jane does, and they
makes
come
a
on
great
shows.
press package.
Yeah, there's a lot of the non-romantic side
Yes,
to
but
it.
New Orleans was a perfect
Sure.
place for you because you are, just a thin veil away from the other side
Yeah, you do feel it there.
in New Orleans. I was in New Orleans and took one of those ghost tours.
Oh yeah.
Now, you're not writing specifically ghost stories, but you definitely get that sense that the other side is just right
Oh yeah.
there.
Oh, I love a good ghost story, and I like writing them, and I like listening to them as well. Yeah. In fact, in this wintertime, I've been invited December 5th at a bar called QED in Astoria. I'm going to be one of several authors who are going to be reading Christmas time ghost stories for the season.
Really?
Yeah, trying to bring that tradition back of just the
I
event is
love
called
that.
Ghosts of Yule, and
Nice.
we're going to be reading our favorite classic stories. So I have to figure out
Oh, I love that.
if I could do something other than A Christmas Carol.
I love that. Well, what's next on your agenda? I mean, you're so prolific. You have piles here. Do you have anything else in the works?
I do. The next one that's coming out is going to be in spring. The next book of my own is coming out in spring of 2020. It'll be my third collection. It's also from Lev Press, who put out Spirits Unwrapped, and it's going to be called Underworld Dreams. It'll be a collection of short stories.
Ooh, Underworld Dreams.
And I just had a story that is, I think it just came out this week. It's called Rum Punch is Going Down, and it's in a short story anthology called, I always get this word wrong, Nox Pareidolia, by a great publisher called Nightscape Press.
Wow.
So and it's a collection of strange tales, like the work that I do, all of those tension between the psychological, supernatural, Twilight Zone, but it's a whole book of them. So in addition to just having a story in there, I'm just excited because I really want to read it. It's just something I really like.
Fantastic. Would you do me a favor and please send me links to all of those
I'll send you
things
links and
so I
copies
can
of
put them
all
on the website so our readers can find all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Because 'tis the season
It
to
is
be
the season.
reading these things. Well, fantastic. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I can actually go to sleep.
Welcome
so
back to
relaxed.
Between the Covers. Thanks for joining us. I just wanted to make a quick announcement. We had a guest on, Joe Satriano, who was an author and the head of the Susan Satriano Memorial Scholarship Foundation. Well, this coming weekend, Strawberry Fields, the ultimate tribute band of the Beatles, will be doing a concert on Saturday, October 26th at 8 p.m. It's a fundraiser. Joe has raised over $1 million for scholarships. All the recipients are students who have a parent who has been suffering from cancer, and I'm so thrilled that he's raised $1 million, and we want him to keep on going with that. So if you are free on Saturday, October 26th, please go visit, and we will be shooting that flyer out on our website and to all of our social media so you can learn a little bit more about it. Remind us where we can find your books, Jane.
Well, you can find it on either Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and also on Archway Publishing, which is a division
Or
of
in this
Simon
fabulous
Schuster.
press kit that she put together. All of our authors out there need to take notes. Fabulous. Thank you. And please send me those links so I can include them on
Sure.
our website.
And then also I have my own website, which is
Oh.
www.mynamejanevassal.com.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. That makes life easy. JaneVassal.com.
Easy.
I could do that. And Jane Vassal.
It's on my card. There's a
spelled
business card
the
inside.
normal way. Okay, fantastic. We'll do that. Joanne, where can we find you?
The book you can find on lulu.com,
Okay.
Amazon, and Barnes & Nobles. And they can, of course, get it from me as well.
Terrific.
And,
do you have a website where we can contact you for the
Oh,
book as well as for other
you
things?
sure do. The website, get ready, it's a long one. BarryCologneFitnessOrUs.org.
BarryCologneFitnessOrUs.org.
Yes.
And you'll send me that to make sure I get it
I
right
sure
on the
will.
website.
Yes.
Okay, did I see Daniel picking up a book as if he forgot his website?
Yeah, I was like,
I saw that. I saw you looking
I think
over.
someone included a biography in there.
It was like, oh, she's asking me questions. Let me look in the back of my
Cheating
book.
during the test.
I
I
thought
got
that was
caught.
hilarious, by the way. So where can we find you?
Yeah, well, the one I was cheating on was my website is bloodandstardust.wordpress.com.
And he's telling us the books aren't that scary.
Yeah.
Blood and
Yeah,
Stardust.
but you could just put my name in on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a bunch of sites will come up there. Thank you. And we'll
Absolutely.
make sure to get those links over to you.
And Blood and Stardust. Yeah, he's writing romance and kitty books over there. I don't think so.
Not for kids, not for
Definitely not for
Some
kids.
romance, but not for kids.
And if you forgot all of that, which they're going to send me because I forgot it already, go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com. You can see old episodes. You can get links to all of our authors and their events and the tribute band fundraiser that's going on. And if you are an author and would like to join us here on Between the Covers, I mean, I'd love it if you join us right here on the red couch. But even if you're not here in New York, we have our authors Skype us in from all over the world. So please visit betweenthecoverstv.com. Thanks for joining us, and happy reading and writing. Thanks.